excitement, and strong manifestation of feelings is dangerous. In everything, a slow transition from one to another is important. Marriage is a fever inside out. It starts hot and ends cold. Everything is good in moderation. Some truths in life need no loud proclamation, no elaborate explanation, for their presence alone resonates deeply within us. Like a gentle stream flowing by, soft yet powerful enough to smooth the roughest stone. Moderation is a simple philosophy, but it carries the strength to heal and uplift, like sunlight filtering through leaves, just enough to bring warmth, not so much as to wither the tender green beneath. In the haste of life, we are often swept into extremes, either too indulgent or clinging too tightly. We chase ambitions and dreams that seem to stretch endlessly, as if happiness lies at some distant finish line. But the truth is, happiness is not far away. It is found in knowing when to pause, in the act of putting down what weighs us down, and in walking lightly through life with an unburdened heart. Moderation is not about giving up. It is about listening to the natural rhythm of life, aligning with it rather than forcing it to march to our own demands. Like sipping a cup of tea, you don't need to drain it to the last drop to taste its sweetness. A small sip is enough to feel its essence. Or like loving someone, you don't need to hold them tightly in your grasp. You just need to walk alongside them through days filled with honesty and depth. In a world brimming with temptations, practicing moderation is a form of liberation. You are no longer bound by ambition, nor pulled into the endless spiral of desires. Instead, you discover fullness in small, simple moments. A quiet afternoon, a familiar smile, a kind word softly spoken. When you know where to draw the line, everything around you becomes clearer, and joy becomes purer as a result. Moderation is not just a way to protect yourself. It's a way to create lasting value. Like how soil flourishes only when given time to rest, or how a still lake reflects the sky only when undisturbed. Sometimes the most meaningful part of life isn't how far you go, but how gracefully you maintain balance along the way. Life itself is a long poem, and every time you know when to stop writing, you don't just craft a beautiful verse, but also leave space for the next miracle to unfold. Moderation doesn't diminish you, it deepens you. It doesn't take happiness away. It gives you the ability to perceive it with clarity and savor it in its most profound and complete form. That which is used develops. That which is not used wastes away. It is necessary to treat not only the disease, but also to counteract the causes that cause it. When in a state of hunger, one ought not to undertake labor. Tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you what illness you have. But if they called everything divine which they do not understand, why there would be no end of divine things. Disease always comes either from an excess or from a deficiency, that is, from an imbalance. Never put off treatment until later. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. This wisdom is not merely a philosophy about nutrition, but a profound reminder of the inseparable bond between humanity and nature, between the body and the soul. In every meal, there is more than just flavor, more than just nutrients. There is the ancient story of the earth, the sky, and the hands that cultivated it. Food, when respected and used rightly, does not merely sustain us. It heals us, bringing health and balance from within. Imagine a simple yet wholesome meal. White rice, nurtured by rain and sun, paired with fresh green vegetables carrying the essence of the earth. Every bite that passes through your body is not merely energy. It is a dialogue with yourself. Each cell feels the life you imbibe. Each heartbeat a quiet gratitude for what you choose to nourish yourself with. And yet, so many of us have forgotten the true value of food. We eat to fill an empty stomach, to satisfy a fleeting hunger, without realizing that what we consume becomes our blood, our flesh. It becomes us. Food is not just for survival, it is for thriving, for living fully. A poor meal does not just weaken the body, it drains the soul, leaving it barren. Food is medicine, not because we should fear illness, but because it is a way to actively care for ourselves. Remember, each time we choose wholesome food, we plant seeds of recovery and longevity within our bodies. This is not a burden, but an act of love. When you reach for a crisp, ripe apple instead of something artificially sweetened and chemical-laden, you are not merely eating, you are healing. And medicine is food gently reminds us that when we lose balance, when our bodies need support, we should turn to nature. Let herbs, carefully prepared dishes, and thoughtful nourishment be our allies. Do not see medicine as an enemy or a last resort, but as a companion on the journey back to harmony. Every day as you sit before a plate of food, ask yourself, am I nurturing myself or am I harming my body? Let every dish you eat become a precious remedy so that you not only live, but feel truly alive. In every breath, in every heartbeat. Above all, remember that health is not a gift bestowed by chance. It is the result of small, mindful choices accumulated over time. And food is where that journey begins. Work, good spirits, and the striving of the mind for perfection, for knowledge lead to results that adorn life. Cure sometimes, treat often, and comfort always. It is far more important to know what person the disease has than what disease the person has. Any excess is contrary to nature. Burning yourself will always make you shine for others. Excessive food causes disease. All disease begins in the gut. Both sleep and insomnolence, when immoderate, are bad. New food can only be taken when the old one is out of the stomach. There is an art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife. Before you heal someone, ask him if he's willing to give up the things that make him sick. This is not merely a piece of medical advice, but a profound truth about taking responsibility for oneself. Healing does not begin with the healer or any medicine. It begins with the soul's consent, with the willingness to let go of what is causing harm. A body or a heart unwilling to embrace change will resist even the most dedicated efforts, making true healing nearly impossible. Humans at times form deep attachments to the very things that hurt them. Bad habits, toxic relationships, unbridled desires, these are like smoldering flames that burn from within. Yet, because they offer fleeting comfort, we often find it hard to let them go. This is the greatest paradox of sickness. Many people would rather live with their pain than face the discomfort of transformation. Think of the body as a garden. If you wish it to flourish and bear fruit, you must first uproot the weeds and thorns that drain its life force. Yet many hesitate to part with the familiar, even when it brings only suffering. True healing demands courage, the courage to release and to make space for renewal. Healing is, in essence, a partnership. No matter how skilled a healer may be, they cannot step into the patient's mind and make the choices for them. A healer can guide the way, but the patient must take the steps. Clinging to what makes you ill does not merely reject the chance for healing. It locks you into a cycle that prevents you from moving toward a better life. But letting go is not a loss. Letting go is making room for rebirth, for things that are wholesome and nurturing. When you dare to release, you free your body from its burdens and your soul from its heaviness. Healing, ultimately, is not a miracle bestowed from the outside. It is a journey that begins within. And that journey starts with the willingness to change. So before someone asks how to heal, let them answer, "Am I ready to change to be healed?" If the answer is yes, that is the first step and the most crucial one toward finding true peace and restoration. If you are in a bad mood, go for a walk. If you are still in a bad mood, go for another walk. When the brain is healthy and in a calm state, a person thinks sensibly. The drunkenness of fathers and mothers is the cause of the weakness and sickness of children. All the most acute, most powerful, and most deadly diseases, and those which are most difficult to be understood by the inexperienced, fall upon the brain. There are, in effect, two things: to know and to believe one knows. To know is science. To believe one knows is ignorance. The natural healing force within each of us is the greatest force in getting well. Within every human being lies an infinite reservoir of strength, a quiet but persistent flame, always waiting for the chance to rekindle life. This force is neither miraculous nor foreign. It is the very essence of existence. From the moment we are born, we are endowed with the ability to heal ourselves, much like a forest regenerating after a storm or a stream returning to clarity once the sediment has settled. But this innate power cannot manifest without trust and attentiveness. Modern life, with its relentless pace and instant solutions, often misleads us into believing that healing must come from external sources: a pill, a procedure, a miraculous intervention. In truth, these external aids are merely tools. The body itself is the architect of recovery, and the mind is the guiding light illuminating the path. Consider how a small wound on the skin heals itself. Observe how the body silently battles illness every single day. These are reminders that within us lies a system of intelligence far beyond our comprehension. Yet, for this system to function effectively, it needs the right environment. A body burdened by exhaustion or a soul weighed down by anxiety will obscure its healing capabilities. In contrast, peace, love, and faith can awaken this force in ways that seem almost magical. This natural healing power is not confined to the body. It extends deeply into the soul. A person with unyielding determination can overcome challenges that seem insurmountable. A heart filled with hope can transform pain into strength. This is not mere romanticism, but the core truth of being human. We are designed to recover, to renew, to rise above adversity, and to rediscover balance. So, when faced with illness or crisis, the first step is not to seek answers outside, but to turn inward and awaken this latent force. Treat your body as a companion, listen to it, care for it, and give it the tranquility it needs to heal. Nourish your spirit with positivity, allowing every cell to feel that it is not alone in this journey. It is in the harmony between body and spirit, between nature and willpower, that we find the key to recovery. And when you place your trust in the force within you, you will realize that the greatest achievement is not merely overcoming illness, but uncovering the extraordinary potential that has always existed within yourself. Some believe that we feel with the heart, because it shrinks and freezes with sadness and worries. However, the heart is not capable of understanding and thinking. Only the brain can do this, and it is he who gives rise to our feelings. In acute diseases, it is not quite safe to prognosticate either death or recovery. Idleness is the source of all vices. Where there is no idleness, there is no evil. In despair, the sick person brings himself closer to death. Life is short, art long, opportunity fleeting, experience treacherous, judgment difficult. The doctor heals the disease, but nature heals. Just as clothiers clean cloth, knocking it out of dust, so gymnastics cleanses the body. That which cannot be cured with medicine is cured with a knife. That which is not cured by a knife is cured by red-hot iron. That which cannot be cured by red-hot iron should be considered incurable. The human soul develops until death. Diseases that come from overwork are cured by rest, and those that come from idleness are cured by work. A wise man should consider that health is the greatest of human blessings, and learn how, by his own thought, to derive benefit from his illnesses. Health is an invaluable gift bestowed by nature, yet few truly grasp its worth while it remains intact. Only when it is threatened do we come to realize that every lofty dream, every seemingly boundless joy, is nothing but a castle built on sand without the solid foundation of good health. A wise person not only cherishes health, but also learns to transform illness into a lesson, a journey toward deeper self-discovery. Illness is more than physical discomfort. It is life's way of speaking to us, a message urging us to pause and look within. It is not a curse, but an opportunity for transformation. A wise person does not cower in fear of illness. Instead, they listen, seek meaning, and learn to reconcile with it. In the challenges posed by illness, they uncover a chance to grow, to heal not just the body, but also the spirit. Through pain, one learns humility. They come to understand that the greatest strength lies not in resisting the unavoidable, but in accepting it and finding a way to turn it into a source of power. Illness, when perceived with wisdom, becomes a mirror reflecting the imbalances in our lives, what we have done too much of, what we have neglected. It teaches us to adjust, to live more harmoniously with ourselves and the world. Yet the most profound gift of illness is its ability to open a doorway to the inner self. When the body is weakened, the mind grows sharper. A wise person uses this time to reflect, to understand themselves, and to realize that health is not merely a state of the body, but a balance between body and soul. They recognize that suffering is not an endpoint, but the beginning of a transformative journey. When one learns to find benefit in illness, they no longer see it as misfortune, but as an opportunity to be reborn. They come to appreciate each breath, each moment, and each fragment of life that they once took for granted. From within their pain, they discover new meaning, new strength, a force that not only helps them overcome illness, but also leads them to a fuller, more profound existence. A A wise person does not fear illness. They understand that with each challenge, they are not merely healed, but reborn, stronger and more enlightened than ever before. In the harmony between body and mind, they find serenity, a peace that no illness can ever take away. Declare the past, diagnose the present, foretell the future. Frequent and causeless fatigue portends an impending illness. Do not tell your illnesses to anyone. Otherwise, you risk getting advice that can harm you. Avoid sex in old age, because at this age it is safer to use other sources of pleasure. The doctor is a philosopher, for there is no great difference between wisdom and medicine. The life so short, the craft so long to learn. Time always contains an opportunity. Only a pure heart can recognize a beautiful and a happy soul. The soul is the same in all living creatures, although the body of each is different. Walking is man's best medicine. Very often the best medicine is to go without it. Healing is a matter of time, but it is sometimes also a matter of opportunity. Time holds an immense power. It soothes wounds, dulls pain, and like water flowing over stone, it gradually erodes away sorrow. Yet time alone cannot heal everything. For true recovery to take place, both body and soul require opportunities, moments to regenerate, to realign with the natural rhythm of life. Opportunities in healing do not always present themselves naturally. Sometimes they must be sought or created through courage and intention. A wounded person cannot simply wait for time to make everything whole again. They must actively look for and seize the conditions that allow healing to begin. This could be a decisive moment to rest, to change a way of living, or even to grant oneself the vulnerability to pause amidst life's relentless pace. Opportunity, however, is not merely about concrete actions, but also about perception. A heart that remains open, willing to accept help and embrace the small, simple joys of life, becomes fertile ground for healing to take root. Conversely, a mind closed off by bitterness or unwilling to embrace the possibility of change only deepens and prolongs the wounds. Time, opportunity, and willpower weave together to form the tapestry of healing, one that encompasses not just the body but also the spirit. A person in recovery does not merely need time for their body to mend. They need the chance for their soul to unburden, to rediscover meaning. This is why, at times, a heartfelt conversation, a moment of shared understanding, or a quiet instant in nature can spark profound transformation. Healing, ultimately, is not about returning to a previous state, but about being reborn with a deeper awareness. Each moment that passes brings not only the flow of time, but also opportunities to choose. Hope over despair, action over inertia, love over resistance. Such moments, however small, are the lifeblood of time's healing power. When we understand that opportunities are ever present, hidden in every breath and every sunrise, we begin to see that time never travels alone. It always walks hand in hand with the potential for renewal and growth. And in the union of time and opportunity, we find the miracle of healing, where wounds not only close but leave behind lessons that help us live more deeply, more completely. The brain contains our mind and madness and insanity and all our fears and horrors. including dreams, as well as all our abilities and negligence.